DreamHack Open is brought to you by Corsair, Intel, Monster Energy, and U.S. Navy.
Day one continues on here at DreamHack Open Anaheim 2020 in beautiful, sunny Anaheim, California at the Anaheim Convention Center, just down the street from Disneyland.
I missed you, and I want your ears back, man.
I can go get them.
I think you should keep them on all weekend.
Go get them.
Let's go get them. I think they're over here somewhere.
Oh,
no, they're gone.
Oh, no. Now we're looking for stuff that doesn't
No.
exist. Live on air. This is
Unlucko. We really should have calculated this one.
NA production. I'm not sure why that happened. Well, whoever did it is fired. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Sean, I think you're going to wear these this time. You have like a very Minnie Mouse vibe.
Perfect.
That's precious. I think we should just get that
I don't have like
zoomed
lights or
in.
anything, right?
Me?
I'm joking.
Maybe. They better have really good grip. Let's go ahead and take a look at the groups, and we'll see just how things have shaped up here in Group A. Furia picked up what I would consider the easiest win of the day against Endpoint, and then North really surprised us with that victory over Forza, 16-8. They really looked like they were in control the whole time.
Definitely, and I mean, it's once again, I know we're already in February, almost in March, but it's those first tournament of the year land jitters that are coming in. You know, it's a process. It's putting your head against the wall and just constantly going through those repetitions and being on that stage, playing against a higher caliber of team when it matters more. It's a different breed, and I think a lot of these teams coming into 2020 early on, they are not coming out at 100%, and you can clearly see it on that stage.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, all 10 players in the server right now in this matchup played really well in their opening game. I don't think anyone had a bad game coming into this, right? Everyone from Furia stepped up. Everyone from North stepped up in their game. And I think that's what we expected. Well, I guess Force probably didn't show up as much as we thought they would. But I think the key to look out for here is, can North manage to actually force Henny to take unfavorable fights? Henny has died the 4th least. He has the 4th lowest death per round all time in CSGO. Like, a lot of people don't realize this. This guy just never dies. The 2nd least, K-Serrato. So they have 2 people on their team that literally just don't die when they play Counter-Strike.
I would have assumed Jame was really high up.
Jame
there,
is number
James
1.
Always, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
And he's probably highest on post-round frags
That is
as
so
well.
surprising because Henny is so known for having that aggression with that AWP and just getting in those shotgun dual ranges, and so that is surprising.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't realize when they watch Henny's game, because he's such a fast operator. He has a lot of crazy highlight plays, but he also plays incredibly smart and saves the AWP when he needs to, and he doesn't take unfavorable engagements.
I mean, that's crazy when you look back at the early part of his career when he was playing on Games Academy. He was kind of a flashy operator, because that's how he was trying to make a name for himself.
He played crazy. I can't even believe at this point he's on that list for the lowest death per round.
Yeah, that is kind of mind-blowing.
It's crazy because like you said, I remember those times when Henny came up and he was such a wild card player. I feel like that's why he never was back in those teams with Fallen ever again.
It is kind of wild. We do have the maps, and we'll go ahead and take a look. We watched North play Nuke earlier, and Furia played Inferno.
Yeah.
There is a bit of an intersect with Mirage, but again, this is one of those maps that got changed recently. Our team's gonna want to play it, even though the change there is somewhat subtle.
I think Furia should stray away from maps like Nuke with close quarters. I think they should try to get in aim battles on Mirage all day. If North lets Mirage float here, I don't think they would want to. See, they're going to veto Mirage. It might head to Nuke because Furia does like going Nuke.
Overpass.
Ooh, we get Overpass.
That's rare. We don't frequently see Overpass on the DreamHack Open stage. I think we've gone entire events without seeing it played.
I think it's hardly been played at all so far in 2020. Like in events, it's one of the maps that have been played the least, actually, which is shocking because it's such an exciting map to watch, and it has so much diversity that the Ts can do.
And it hasn't been messed with.
That's true.
You're right, it hasn't been messed with. I think it has to do along with, it just takes so much preparation and utility to push back the operas. I think the operas have the most freedom on a map like Overpass on that CT side with the aggression and the versatility. You can pull out every single strat that you have as an opera and how you want to approach certain angles and bring it out on this Overpass. So a lot of pressure here is on MSL's shoulders to be able to rise up to that occasion. We heard him speaking about it in the interview now. He considers himself completely an opper, and it's a great thing that he's an in-game leader on top of that. But I think he's finding himself being, that primary opper, that feeling within himself to understand that, I am the sniper of this team.
Yeah, and what we're going to see out of MSL and Overpass is a lot different than what we saw in Nuke, right? At Nuke, we saw him take a lot of super aggressive engagement towards outside and then falling back. On Overpass, he modeled his game completely after Device. When he first came into Op, he said he watched all these Device demos, and that's how they ended up upsetting them. I think it was DreamHack Stockholm. Yeah, where they upset Astralis and knocked them out, in the midst of their entire insane year. But it's largely because of how MSL plays Overpass. He plays it just like Device, only takes smart fights, takes a shot, backs off, takes a shot, backs off, and he gets about 5 shots before he's in the site. And that's just the exact style I would want out of my opera.
Taking a look at the other side of the stage, Team Furia, you're going to be looking at the op on their side, and in general, I would give them the edge, the op for Furia, over top of MSL, but I think I give the brain advantage, the in-game leadership, the knowledge that comes into the game to North, because they're going to come in with heavy preparation, because that's MSL's style.
Yeah, North is definitely going to come into this prepared. Whenever I played MSL on Overpass, it was always very difficult because he has a lot of different executes that look the same, right? He'll push and pull people all over the map, hit the bomb site with the least amount of people, and it's very hard to adapt to and know your smoke timings as CT. That's the biggest thing is, will Furia be able to sit on their grenades for long enough so that way they have smokes late round to stop these executes? That remains to be seen. I personally don't think they could do it.
Exactly. I think I'm excited, very, very excited to watch this Overpass coming out of the north side. I remember in Sevilla, the stats helix, there were so many options for me to go through to explain how many variations and approaches that North had for this Overpass. So I'm curious to see how MSL will be able to turn around and execute on this Overpass.
Now, it's not to say that Furia is a bunch of slouches. This team had an impressive run starting out last year, but then they sort of fizzled out, and then we saw the change to bring in Henny. We haven't really seen enough to say whether or not that's improved or...
It's been 5 months, Buck.
Yeah, but we haven't seen... I feel like we just haven't seen much in that 5 months. It's kind of crazy.
It's definitely the case on Overpass. So in the last 3 months, they've only played it twice, and I think one of those was with their coach at Summit. So they've had so many weird problems with visas and, like Art said, a lack of practice ever since Henny joined. They played Summit with Gary standing in, and then coming into 2020, you'd think they would solve those visa problems. They had to have Lucas, Henny's brother, stand in for the online qualifiers for Katowice. So they're kind of in shambles, but they're a young group of players. They have extreme confidence. You can see it in their game. The way that they play the game, they play with the utmost confidence. So I don't think the lack of practice even matters for them.
And we talked about the leadership of MSL. One factor that we didn't really touch upon is the coaching side. Gary, who's the coach for Furia, has been at the helm with the team for a while now. Is he able to match up with Jumpy, or is he that much better just because Jumpy's just coming in late to the game?
It's got to be a mixture of both, right?
Yeah.
I would like to think that he's that much better. And these Furia guys, they're such a good group of hardworking individuals coming in, and you can clearly see that in their trajectory and how much success they had in 2019. It's just a matter of figuring out all the pieces, right? We speak about Art's aggression all the time. How is he going to transition to that rifle role? We haven't seen it come and be successful quite yet. It was always his aggression with that AWP that put Furia in an advantageous advantageous scenario, then all of a sudden give it right back to their opponents. So I'd really like to see Furia working a little bit more around Art's aggression, try to capitalize off the space that he gives these Furia guys, because he's absolutely always in his opponent's faces. So, and sometimes, you know, you take a step back and wonder, where are the other guys of these Furia members? Why aren't they up there with Art?
Now we also have North setting up on the stage as well. Again, recent changes, MSL coming in as the in-game leader, and then Jumpy coming in as the coach. And we actually talked to them. We talked to MSL after their last game, and we said, hey, what's the dynamic like? Because he's Swedish and you guys are Danish, and yes, there is some crossover, but how does that work? And he kind of broke it down and said, we're speaking in Danish in-game, and he's trying to adapt and listen and learn as much as he can. But then when he gets involved, it's all English.
Yeah, and I kind of, I guess, probably called strats similar. MSL seems like he has way more structure than I had as an in-game leader, if I'm being honest. But he probably doesn't even want, you know, a coach constantly like barking into his ears, like telling him what to do, because he has his ideas so set in his head. You know, when you talk to MSL, he's flushed out all of the possibilities on a map. There's not much a very strategic coach can do for MSL other than, you know, like break down the opponents and, you know, pick apart things that MSL can't see, like where someone's messing up. That's what MSL is looking for in a coach. So I don't even think, you know, it's necessary that Jumpy needs to speak perfect Danish live in a game, because there's rare times that he's going to need to, you know, call a strat for them.
You just agreed?
Yeah, just agreeing.
Now, looking at MSL specifically, he's a player that gets probably a lot of heat, especially when he starts picking up the op and becomes a primary. In that first game, though, he looked solid.
And he has for a while. MSL has looked very good on the AWP for a long time now, actually. Before he came back into North, he was playing very well individually. And I think it's very unfortunate. It kind of goes to show like how our community like latches onto the idea of
first impressions
of who someone is like as a person. And everyone remembers MSL putting up those poor numbers, you know, and talking about how he lowered his sense or whatever, and then he put up good numbers again. It's just like no one can forget that kind of stuff and all of those problems MSL used to have as a rifler. But now if you look at his stats and his impact on games, he is doing really, really well.
MSL has also been at the helm of some other Danish teams going back into the past, like Reason, where, yeah, you know, his numbers were never impressive. It was all about the team. So to see his numbers going up with the team's success should produce success for the team on a greater level. Is this the rise of North?
It should. I mean, surely we would hope so, right? I think the biggest concern for me coming into this match is just that we haven't seen North tested quite yet. In their first match in the opening this morning, it was quite a blowout, and their opponents in fours just didn't really put up a fight. But the same thing could also be said for Furia. Yeah. Their matchup was also quite the blowout. So as far as each individual stepping up, sure, they stepped up in that first match, but when the opponents start getting a little bit more challenging, who's going to actually step up for these North guys?
So,
it does seem to me, though, that I guess Furia was kind of gifted a few rounds.
They were.
In that opening game, right?
I actually have in my notes bunt victory over end.
Bunt?
Yeah.
Because it felt like they weren't really tested that much. Like they kind of just put in a limited effort.
With North, it almost seems like they earned it a little bit more.
I think they beat what we had as the favorite for the tournament.
Yeah.
So
and it was
definitely
on
a harder victory.
Yeah, that first game, though, for Furia, it just seemed like a cakewalk.
You almost worry, like, does that put you into the wrong mental state coming into this next game? Like, you're like super cocky and confident because you had an easier game to get here.
And I think, I'm going to go ahead and go with this narrative. You know, you're taking me down this narrative. I think Furia's going to come into this overconfident, actually. You know, they have those young players that can't really analyze mistakes in a blowout win. Yeah.
Well, since you're going that route anyway, let's go ahead and jump into our predictions. Sean, what do you have?
I'm going to go with North. I think on an open map, I would have went the other way. But on Overpass, I have to go with my boy MSL.
I have to agree with you. I'm going to go with North here as well. I'm just considering that North made all their mistakes in Leipzig a couple weeks ago. This is Furia's first tournament of 2020. I got to go with North here.
A united desk is a happy desk, and that's why I'm going with Furia.
Huh.
Because why would you want them? No, I've been duped. I think I tricked the graphic guy. He was like, oh yeah, North. And they're like, no. No, yeah. I'm going to go with Furia, only because I feel like they'll start off bumpy, and then they'll rebound in the second half. I feel like that's going to be the way they get into the game. So it's going to be a little bit sloppy at first. They'll tighten up the screws at the end of the first half, and then in the second half, they're going to come out swinging. And I think it is going to be just individual firepower.
Yeah, I think if Art has success with his shenanigans, you know, like coming through smokes and whatnot all by himself, North is in big trouble. But I think North should be able to handle that.
Well, Twitch chat, you guys voted at home. Why don't we take a look and see how you guys... Okay, 60-40, so I'm not too crazy going with Furia.
Dude, where are the Brazilian fans in Twitch?
They are
They
absent
haven't
today.
been around. I don't know what it is. Is it the time change? Is if you're on like the east coast of Brazil, you're what, 4 hours? Yeah, it's a 4-hour time difference.
Man.
That's math too fast.
Quick maths. Yeah, it's 4 hours. We
Okay.
remember this. We were in Brazil last year.
Yeah,
Come on,
let
just
me think back on that
Carry
time.
the one.
well, we are going to throw things to a break before we jump into this match. We'll be back in just a bit. Stay tuned.
Yodelay he who, and we're getting into this one. You go, and who? Well, it's going to be North versus Furia, the Brazilians versus the Danes, going head-to-head on our screens in just a moment. Now, it's been a hot minute since we saw some Counter-Strike go down, because we had a couple of delays just then, but we worked as quick as we can to get them out of the way. Hugo, we're about to head into this. You know, we've been waiting patiently on the edge of our seats, and now we get to see the action unfold. Furia, they come into today, they take that win over Endpoint, and they get what the guys on the desk were saying was the easiest win of the day thus far. North, they play versus fours, and they look very good there as well. And I think, you know, this is kind of how we expected this to look with these two teams going head-to-head. And I feel like this is a pretty 50-50 matchup.
Yeah, you know, we got both lots of proof of both teams here, right? Furia, they had a great peak last year and definitely fell off after that. This is now their first LAN tournament of 2020 and their chance to really come out of the gate swinging. Obviously for North, you know, this has been a team going through turbulent times themselves. They finally brought MSL back into the roster. Yugi is gone. And honestly, I think that's a positive change. You know, MSL back in this team is always welcome as an in-game leader, frees up a lot more room for Gade and the likes. And I'm really excited to see if North can prove themselves here on the stage, right? We just saw them back at Leipzig. They bombed out, they got grouped, losing to Heroic, and who also ended up 3rd and 4th alongside Mad Lions. And so North, being knocked out of the second best Danish team in the world, you know, definitely at this point, no longer in that spot, want to get back up into the swing of things, and this is going to be their chance to do so. A good placing here in Anaheim could really solidify them again coming into this year.
Yeah, it certainly could, and you know, I feel like in that sense, like these two teams are kind of sharing that like situation between them, right? They're both looking to keep making the strides that they were making at one point in time, right? Furia, since that astronomical rise that occurred last year, it feels like they've got a little bit quiet, right? We haven't seen as much from the Brazilian squad, and we want some more of that aggressive, that disgusting style of CS. But also, as Sean pointed out over on the desk, what feels like a decade ago now, he mentioned that out of, it was, I'm trying to think of who it was. It was Queserato and Henny, who had like the fourth and fifth lowest deaths, or
the second and fourth.
Oh, there we go, man. Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
We're trying to remember
the second and fourth lowest deaths in any pro team in Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
That's an
losing
impressive
only
stat.
to Jade,
Yeah.
which, considering
Fair
like
enough.
that is what that man is known for. It's kind of insane that on a team that we always peg to be so aggressive, so ferocious, that there's two players who have that stat line to their name.
I mean, Queserato's second probably because he's the one going in, killing everyone, and therefore how do you die if you've killed everyone? There's no one left to kill you,
You can't kill a god. That's what they say. And Queserato might be trying to prove that today.
Oh, he's certainly shown some godly form in the past year or so, and I'm really excited to see if North can take him on, right? We got some Dane on Brazilian action like we just had in our previous series. MIBR falling to Complexity, who of course have both Config and Blame on that team as well. So So yeah, Dane on Brazil, I'm always for it, Harry. And we're going to get right into it as well. Overpass, one of the least played maps of our DreamHack Open series, but we're going to find out what it has in store for us.
Yes, indeed. And I'm hearing some typing. We fooled all of you. We're not starting yet. We got to, or at least I imagine not. The typing's always a bad sign. And the fact that no one's moving, yeah, I'm calling this one. I'm calling it. It's not live.
No, we're restarting. Well, that is a shame.
We tricked you all.
Momentum is gone now, Harry.
It's not gone. This was by design. Because what this allows for us to do is, really relish in this, man. Really be on the edge of our seat.
We're restarting now.
We are restarting now. Don't worry. We're getting back into the swing of things. Obviously, North, big talking point here is MSL back into the fold and back into the swing of things. Can he... Because we're talking on the desk about how his stat lines have improved astronomically when you compare him to the man that he was all those years ago, the man that you kind of have in your mind when you think about the name that is MSL. He's still one of the premium leaders of the game, and now he's got the frags to match it. So back in this North squad, can that lead them to success here?
One thing that's interesting as well that MSL talked about after that game versus Fours earlier is how they really put some gameplay into shutting down Z-Power with that AWP. Now coming into a map like Overpass, where you've got Henny on that AWP, not the best player in the team, obviously K-Serato it would definitely be an argument for that one, but Henny's certainly an explosive AWPer as well, and like I said, someone with low death stats, which is cool. It's going to be interesting to see if North can try and counter Henny on this CT side, considering that's where Furia will be starting, that AWP so potent on Overpass, and with a lot of depth, with a lot of options available for a T side on Overpass who have done their homework, North are going to be really, really exciting to watch. I can't wait to see what they've got to show for us. And we're getting right into things, Harry. The map is live. Furia versus North. Overpass, a best of one, and seeing who's going to be going to those semi-finals.
Yes, indeed. Opening things up, that nade into mid finds damage across the board. North already brought on down. Now Art posting himself up over here in the toilets, trying to get some use out of this forward position. He's going to see a little bit more than maybe he anticipated there as he swings out. There's 3 players on the horizon, and Art knows that sticking around is not the play. He's going to drop that smoke, bail on out, but North, they are going for a bit of a matchmaking classic almost, right? You take this long control, you get it, you force these rotations away because it's really not uncommon to see a 4-man stack in these pistol rounds down at that B bomb site. So you draw these rotations up, and now you apply the brakes. Now you slow it down.
The reason this is sick is if you look at Furia, look at Yuri down in short. They're boosting for connector. They're ready for this play up long down through con, but North have gone the long way round. They're going to completely avoid this setup. Now, Furia do know this is a possibility, and they're going to deconstruct this boost, but they're still not watching Monster. They're still not holding this angle, and they've still given away the B bomb site. North, if they play their cards right, they could get it for free, but Furia, luckily for them, are going to move back in the nick of time. The fake on the A site, Henny and Art on the flank. They've killed everyone, and they've cleared it out. They now know it's B, but North are there, and so are Furia.
Okay, Serato trying to hold the line, and now Yuri stepping up with another. Oh dear, this has not gone the way that North had planned. It's only Gade left. And we say he's always good for 1, often good for 2, but in this situation, that is not the case. Defuse comes on in, and Furia, they're going to get that pistol round locked on in. That little strap that North had up their sleeve, that little idea, it doesn't go their way.
Yeah, I like it though, and Furia actually almost completely outgamed themselves by having that boost, but a great realization that, okay, North have gone quiet. We've seen that bomb on long, but that was so long ago, they could have already fallen back towards a B site, and instead of just holding on to that connector play, Furia, they have Art going aggressive on that flank through the toilets, and they know it's B. So really, really good heads-up play from Furia. A team ace as well in the pistol round, everyone finding success, and that's something else that got mentioned on the desk. No one's had a rough game to start things off. Obviously, both these two teams made quick work of their opposition in their opening matches, but yeah, everyone performing on both sides is always what you want to see. North now on the force, not going to be waiting for the third. They've got a Krieg and 3 Galils, pretty decent buy considering they just got the bomb down. But what will they be able to do with it? Kiebi holding on to Monster. His team are going to come join him late after showing some mid-presence. And Furia once again going heavily into this connector, really gambling towards this rotation point. And the only issue with that is that leaves 1 man alone on B. That's Vinny. He's thrown a Monster smoke though, and that will delay the play here from North, but it's still the object of their desires.
And this support from the connector is a little ways away, so we are looking for Vinny to try and hold this line and buy some time for these rotations. Now there's almost a timing caught here. That Galil gonna find the kill onto Vinny over here. This site Art now followed up onto as well. Queserato will be in with a bit of a response, and oh dear, Yuri's torn this one apart from the heavens. It's actually only AZ left in the blink of an eye. This was looking like North were going to snatch a round away from Furia, and now that might not be the case. 1v3, and AZ's gone quiet. He has fallen silent here at the B-bomb site. He's looking for anything, any bit of information, any sound cue, anything to work with, and they're not giving anything up. AZ hung out to dry here, and he's going to get finished off. Furia, they get a leash back on the Beast in that round there, and they'll cement their second on the board.
Yeah, unfortunately, with all of AZ's teammates dying, he couldn't commit to going for that plant. And in the time that he's waiting for, someone to give away anything, a kill, a bit of information, well, those smokes completely fade. Yuri can fire off from the heavens, Queserato can wrap in from shore, and AZ has nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. He can only die. 2-0 lead for Furia. Pistols out for North and really minimal investment, if anything. 1P250. It's going to be a Hail Mary towards B. Oh, they're going to go right through the Molotov. That could be naughty. Queserato spraying them down. The SMG finding a lot of damage as well. And it is a nice clean round from Furia, dealing with those Glocks with ease. 3-0, and the buy-in for North. They're going to have the AWP as an option, but instead choosing just to go for the full utility.
Early on in this one, we're going to see a couple of players from Furia looking like they want to try and work mid. Now that Molotov gets extinguished, but in doing so, Henny knows he might have a bit more room to work with here over in Party. He gets all this information early, as well as the forward position. Art's been removed over at B, but Queserato's already fallen into place to trade this out.
Oh, the grenade.
The nades even shut down AZ. I mean, blink and you've missed it. Furia have turned this back in their favor once again. That's just how so many of these rounds have gone, and this is just no exception. Henny's spotting feet, little foot fetish down beneath the plywood there. And yeah, I mean, this is not going the way that North wanted whatsoever. 2 players left standing, MSL and Cajun, yet to make a dent in this first buy round that North have mustered.
And this smoke gives him a retreat as well. He doesn't have to fall back, but if he wants to, he can completely leave this position. He's going to stick around because they have such an advantage, and that smoke has a gap, giving him the bomb. Doesn't see Cajun, though, as it fades. He can try and pounce as this man retreats back through the long position, but Cajun almost gets caught. He does find that kill instead. North stuck in a 1-on-3. Furia, they were doing a lot of this earlier versus Endpoint, pulling back 4-on-5s, pulling back disadvantages into favorable rounds, and this is no exception. Cajun's going to get caught from the sidelines, and that's a 4-0 lead for Furia. Fantastic start on Overpass, looking very ready for what North are throwing at them, and a good bit of aggression as well, right? Not fearful as they take control towards the playground and the party very early on in that one. I love the play from Henny. He can spot the toes under that little gap in the plywood, like you said, and just spam away at a minimal risk of dying there. So pistols again for North. The last eco was made quick work of, but at least they have Armored Eagle in this round.
Oh, and I like this. Art has smoked himself off deep in the connector. That's let him push ahead of these North players. And now he's already set up over here on short. He could do so much from this position. Uh-oh. Oh dear, AZ, it's not looking good for you, bud. I don't know how else to tell him. He gets Molotoved into the prying eyes of Art down towards connector. Another kill found here over at the long side of the map. Fury chiming in. Now the Deagles, ooh, they will get 2 in rapid succession as well. Those are some weapons now retrieved. And Henny, well, he's able to make quite the difference with that kill there. With it, the bomb is dropped. USP in hand. Not going to beat Gade at range. Cajun now looking to try and retrieve this bomb and rejoin Gade over at the toilets. No. Yuri might just miss the timing. Oh, this is going to be close, but it's Cajun caught in the back line. And now Gade, the only man remaining here for North. A 1v2 to find it. He's going to try and big brain it. He's going to rotate down through CT into heaven toward this B-bomb site.
How heads up from Vinny, though. He's already ready for it. He's already rotated down. He's going to be here as Gade gets off of that bomb plant. Different position though, will he be ready for it? He spots the player, or one-shot capability, and Gates found a kill, but Yuri trading from the heavens. The position all too favorable for him once again. 3 kills just a couple of rounds ago, and 2 in this one. It's another round for Furia. It's a retake here for a 5-0 lead. And wow, these guys are looking like a powerhouse right now. North getting outgamed in all of these rounds. You know, nice aggression from Henny as well with the AWP. We talk about him having low death stats and that being kind of surprising considering, you know, how aggressive this guy is. He just pushes down mid on his own, fights versus these pistols, gives away the A site, but he gets valuable information and even drops that bomb for Furia, allowing rotations off of the B site. Of course, that eventually does give a plant for North and enables a buy in the round number 6, but Furia is still rolling in cash.
And these mid Molotovs have been so good. They've been chaining a couple together, right? They put that standard one down over on the mid ramp, but then they throw a second here into party. So even if you smoke that first Molotov, you actually then either have to waste another smoke, and at that point you have to question if that's even worth it, or you end up just waiting for the Molotov in party to fade anyway. And what this has meant for North is this AWP on MSL has been really struggling to find anything in the early stages of these rounds. And you can see already the AWP for Furia picking up its first in this one. MSL put up on a little boost there on the fountain, didn't see anything.
Yeah, from that boost you can jump spot someone and then wall bang them if they're still standing on top of the flower beds, but Henny's actually inside of the toilet and he's just baiting positions. He's baiting a peek. Yuri getting the kill instead. Henny's still here, but a great shot puts him down low. He's got to nail the next one and AZ won't allow him to. Kesarata moving through with another frag, and he could make this round a reality for Furia as the flank comes in from Vinny. It's done again. North are just not being given the time to play their own game. Furia are pushing them in every extremity of the map, and it is working wonderfully.
Yeah, I really feel like so much of it is coming down to this brilliant utility usage early on in mid. What it does is it just stops North establishing that default. They never even get to, you know, arrive in party and start securing the area. They don't get to have that nice fight at long. And you'll note Furia, they've been so mobile across the whole map. Think about how these rounds have been panning out. They get a kill in toilets, right? They deal with Henny. They start to think, oh, right, you know, we can start to aggress. We can get this foothold. We can establish our default in the toilets. But you can't, because where there's one, there's like 3 for the Furia side, right? They just start to come out the woodwork. Vinny fast flanking up through connector. And, you know, over on the North side, they're never allowed to get comfortable. They're never given any of this real estate that so often you get for free over on Overpass.
Within, you know, 10 seconds, North had to fight 3 players on long A. How often do you see that? I mean, Furia just have so much information, and they've been doing a good job of gambling off of this B site. Typically, you see teams put 3, even sometimes 4 players down on B, but Furia have definitely changed the game. They're going for, you know, 1 and maybe max 2 players on that lower site very often, and just retaking it, and it's working well. So North, they need to work that out soon. They need to get ahead of things, because right now, Furia are in a big lead.
I think this is where, if you're North, what I would love to see is just... Oh, hang on a moment. Oh, there we go. AZ is just one step ahead. He's looking for a little bit more, and not going to get it. Kesarata trying to protect that non-dying stat. Looking to fall over here at short. As I was saying from North, I would love to just see a set piece called from spawn. You know, maybe you try your hand at one of these B rushes. We have all the information, so we know that it's underprotected, but this is usually the site. If you're going to make a call like that, it is B over on this map. And I think, you know, if North tried something like that, maybe there's a chance they can slip something in here. Because right now, it is this default that Furia are kind of toying with. They'll group 3 players up in the knowledge that North, you know, max, as they're trying to establish this default, they're going to have like 2 guys in the position they're challenging, be it long, be it connector, be it catwalk. So I'm curious if that's going to continue or if North are going to catch on. Henny, almost the lineup, almost. But yeah, I mean, this is just the shutdown now. These leagues have got to do it all, and they line up for Yuri. And that's the 7th round for Furia locked on in.
This is not the game of the day that I would expect to be a stomp. This, in my head, is one of the most equal matches we've had. But right now, Furia are not giving North room to breathe. And it is a masterclass of Counter-Strike right now. Double AWP even coming through. The confidence is there. And so is the money behind it as well. 7-0. MSL on an AWP. He's 0-7. If there was a time for the in-game leader and AWPer to step up, well, it would be the time where he's got his primary weapon in hand. Trying to fight middle. No Molotov here, but the flashes are good for Fury. That delays MSL into position, and as a result, allows Yuri to get up towards this party. He's even got the support covering his backline. Henny watching for it. Spam through the smoke. Cajun does catch Art, who moves ahead of the Bloom. Comes back to bite him. Henny going to reposition, try and play a little bit more aggressively as he knows now the connector has been given up. He doesn't want to allow a player to push up and kill his teammate in the party. And Yuri is going to push up as well. This boost is coming through. He hears the jumps and he's dropped them both. Flank from the side. Gay getting the trade, but it's still a 3-on-3 and Yuri's done it all.
Oh, Kirby rewarded for his patience as Furia throw away this 3-on-3, and now they sit a man down. K-Serato on his rotation, 10-1. By the way, 143 ADR. And just topping the charts right now for Furia. Is that going to be enough? Henny arriving. Oh my word, that was so fast. And now a 2v2. All right, there's a chance. This is getting interesting. K-Serato on the barrels. This one's not in the bag yet. And he knows it. Silence fallen, K-Serato, unknown entity, and there it is. Strikes the first from the tally, trade comes through, and it's Cajun versus Henny. Taps the bomb, baits the peak. Cajun disappeared, and Henny now scratching his head. Where could this man be? 15 seconds, and Cajun's gonna go for the A-rotate. He's got time, he can get this bomb planted, and Henny, he's at least read this one ahead of time. Oh, it's the double fake.
Wow.
It's the double fake, ladies and gentlemen. Cajun B gets the bomb down. And now this 1v1 is interesting.
Cajun B, more like Cajun Brain, because he has absolutely outplayed Henny here, and Henny's not even realized it. Finally, knowing there's no bomb tick on this site, he has got to run for the hills, downwards, downstairs towards B. And he doesn't know where Cajun is. Cajun's had the time to go anywhere. He could have pushed CT. He's wrapped Monster instead and gone back towards short. And he's picked up a Molotov in tow as well. He can molly that bomb. Could get stuck behind the pillar, so he needs to cover this cross, and he does, but he misses the shot. Henny now with a chance, smoke on the bomb, taps it. Cajun's been forced to move. He's got the knife out. He's going for it, but Henny's taking him down. Is there time? There should just be about. And that's going to be an 8th round for Furia.
Oh my word. And Cajun, you think maybe he's done enough with the little getting in the head of Henny on that rotation. But Furia are just not missing a beat right now, and the same cannot be said for North. Oh, that shot from Henny is beyond disgusting. And, and the fact that, he's kind of hitting these shots, he's really feeling himself right now, that just sets an even more worrying tone. The AWP on the side of Furia is doing work, and the AWP for the side of North is yet to get a kill.
Well, another round for North with guns at least. The money has been given their way, but nothing else. Art's been boosted up. Now, this Krieg scope should be heard by AZ, but will he be ready for the boost? That's the question. He's looking for it. Art popping up. AZ spamming back, and he does get away with that frag as the wood leaves Art hung out to dry. Man advantage for North. Now, Furia have been able to win these rounds in a 4-on-5, but what is their trick? What is their task of getting back into things? It looks like short aggression. They've got a double setup ready to trade if K-Serato does fall. That's still a question in and of itself. North aren't jumping the gun. They aren't pushing into this B site. They'd rather work the map and try and gain more control. Only just now moving out through middle with that bomb. With Gade coming up the connector as well, he can be flashed by his teammates to force back any potential AWP play. Instead, Henny's gone back passive towards that A site. And now we see a more standard setup with heavy B control, but in fact, very heavy B control. 4 players. What a gamble.
Yeah, even when you say it's like about to be a more standard setup, but they don't believe in that in the Furia side. If we're not grouped up with 4, then we're not playing together. And Henny, well, he is going to split away from the pack. He goes back towards this A bomb site, and he doesn't see anything. 30 seconds now. There we go. The smoke's now coming in. Henny knows, and he's made the call. The rotation coming through. He's made it a 4-on-4, and now hides in this smoke, waiting for the rest of his team to step in alongside him. Oh, K-Serato spraying away. The bomb's been dropped. 2 versus 2, and try and plant it again. Oh, it's dropped once more. And now just MSL. He tries to get his first kill, but K-Serato is not missing a beat. Furia, double digits, a 10th on the board, as they deny and deny inside of that A-bomb site.
Do Furia have 10 players on their team? It seems like no matter where North go, they're stacked. That was a quad B setup in the 4-on-5 for Furia. They get the info by aggressing on short, and in an instant, they're already AAA. North walking into a fully stacked bomb sites. Those smokes only give room for Furia to rotate out through the CT spawn, and they just shut it down, denying the bomb plant, denying any chances. Art's going back for more, and he will slaughter them. K-Serato even coming into assist. That grenade could do significant damage, and the bullet certainly will. It's a 10-0 lead for Furia, and North are getting dumpstered.
Yeah, and I mean, this, like moment of silence as well for the boys in the North camp. This is a bit of a sad one to see. And I think, one of the things that's going to start to hurt them the most is MSL, right? Still yet to get a kill. The man at the helm of this squad now as well. And it's not great when you start to get in your own head a bit, right? Especially as the man making the decisions within the team. And this is where maybe he could look to fall back on a guy like Gade, who did take over that IGL role for a while Yugi was here. But, I mean, even then, it's not ideal. You're kind of playing this 4-on-5, or at least that's how it feels like if you're in the north side of things right now. And up against Furia, who have had stacks at every bomb site you've gone to, well,
yeah.
that's really not ideal.
I do definitely agree when I feel like, going for a faster paced round could be the solution for North, right? Because these slow defaults, even with the 5-on-4, you just give time for Furia to gamble, not only with rotations, but take control, take position, and therefore, know where North are going. That's been the game plan all game long for Furia. In this one, a man advantage. They've taken down Gade early on. He's been the top performer for North, so certainly not the man you want to be losing early, but Kiebi's waiting in middle. He was ready for that push. Yuri got flashed over, but it wasn't to affect this man. And a 4-on-4 for North, and Kiebi wants to abuse that position. He knows that long is clear. He's going to bound through it very, very fast, trying to get towards this A site. Art is here, but he's begun his rotation down towards B. The question is, does Henny hear this from the toilets? Does he get the information that he is being flanked? Because if he does not, North are going to have everything under their wing.
Oh, no. Henny.
Hello.
Oh, Kiebi's playing the trigger discipline. Sneaky Kiebi attempting to drive the knife into the back of Furia.
This is so smart because instead of calling for North to rotate up and try and fight that AWP, he's just going to flank. North are already ready for B play. They're already fully set up outside of the site. Kiebi can get multiple kills rather than just one from this flank.
Oh, and he's sizing it up. He's looking for a little bit more. He's not content with the one on the plate, and now he rains it down from above. He hears a man rotating around from behind. Kiebi opening up this B site, making it doable, but Art from heaven very, very quickly has turned the tables once again. And this is such a back and forth round. This is so indicative of this matchup thus far. It all falls onto Henny, a 1v2, but as we've seen, Hugo, anything is possible. And with Henny at the helm, that feels more true than ever.
He's being wrapped though. Timing is everything. MSL's coming in for the knife in the back, trying to close out this round, and he's done it. He's found the kill. Henny getting shut down, but that was still a very close one in that 2-on-2. North finding their first round, but the rotation from Art, he was moving back up towards the A site, and luckily the timing was favorable for him because he finds himself in heaven when that B play comes through, when Kiebi shows up the fact that he has a flank. Art gets away with 3 kills, but it's just not enough. North, can they build upon this? Can they pull it back to a 10-5, or will Furia close the door right back on them? More Molotovs in middle. Kiebi's got to try and get through that, though. He can't afford to keep giving away this positional control to Furia on the CT side. Art's playing a smoke up on short. He's looking aggressively. Mr. Arty even spamming as well, finds a little bit of damage onto Gade, nothing too significant. Furia in the meantime re-aggressing mid-round, a dangerous call, but 1 over on long. That was the position Kiebi managed to find a flank from in the previous round, so he might be tempted back towards that, but North attempted towards B. With a pick onto Art, they're going to double down, and Vinny's waiting in the wings. He's got 2. The bomb dropped as well. A massive couple of kills, and the molly even separates the rest of North. They've lost the package and all control behind it.
Yeah, the old saying, divide and conquer. Well, that is ringing true right now for Furia. They split up this defensive, and piece by piece, they're tearing it apart. And it gets worse and worse by the second. K2B, he's all alone again. And it is a very lonely time for him right now. There is a pretty terrifying situation amassing behind him as well, with the flank coming in from Yuri. And everywhere he looks, there are enemies in the crosshair. An 11th for Furia on the board. They shut down that attempted B play. They make it look easy. And they negate that man advantage as well that North was able to pick up. It was looking like maybe they were in with a chance here.
Yeah, that was a mess from North as well, right? They're making a contact play down on Monster, but they had no one in short ready to split. By the time someone came up to short to try and assist, well, that Molotov's already down. If you're going to go for a B play, you need, and going to split short side as well, you need those players to be ready to go ahead of the Molotov. Instead, Furia are given 5 seconds after dropping the bomb to throw in utility, and that just completely segregates North out of the round. They have nothing, so a dangerous one, and getting even worse is Queserato drops the bomb once again, spraying in through Monster. Nice deeks from Gade. He's been the only performer in this map for North so far, with the exception of that flank from Kierby. And he does get away with 2, but chipped down to 8. Picks the bomb back up. Henny's heard Kierby, but he's turned around at the worst possible time, and a flick back does land perfectly. 1 on 3 for Gade now. Long is open, but it's still a grim reality with 8 points of health.
Yeah, he's got to do a lot to get us believing. He's got to do a lot to get us on side. And there's 3 players he's left doing it up against as well. Leaves a lot to be desired. Gade, with 2 to his name already. He needs the ace if North want to pick this one up. And surely... Oh, okay. The wheels are turning now, but they're not quite going fast enough. Gade has got it down to a 1v2 at the very, very least. He's got this bomb planted. Rap is coming in from Long. Henny is there with that AWP. Gade knows that there's still a man missing, still a player in the mist somewhere that was towards this A side of the map. He's anticipating this peek from the dumpster. Gade, bit of damage, but does get shut down ultimately. And even though he gets it close, even though he gives North a chance, it's not enough. 3 kills for him, a bomb plant found, at least opens up the avenue of reinvestment here for North. But make no mistake, this is just only good for Furia, really.
Yeah. That was a nice try from Gade. Unfortunately, though, he got wrapped on Long so quickly. The second he starts planting, Henny pushes in through Long, and he sees those smokes, and he goes, okay, well, Gade has to be on the site. He couldn't have crossed towards short. He's already got there in time, and, Gade's either inside of a smoke or on the truck, and that's all the info Furia need to just wait out the utility, throw in that grenade that almost ends Gade's life before he sees a player, and they can just isolate him on the site. So nice retake from Furia, keeping up appearances here on the CT side. And if you're Furia here, your game plan is just to shut this down as cleanly as possible. You don't want to give North, 3-4 rounds at the end of the half and make them have a feeling that they can, potentially pull this back with a pistol round. Furia want that 14-1, Harry, and they might just get it as well. North, this is going to be another buy coming through, but all their eggs into this basket. And right now it's cracking.
Yeah, the basket or the eggs, I mean, it's both, really. It's all going wrong. And they're trying to assemble this boost. Now, we're getting, this is the closest you can get to a team-building exercise in Counter-Strike. And maybe this is the problem with North, because
they love building.
We're like, oh, hang on a minute, maybe they've done it. MSL, come on. Yeah, he's on, he's up. And now, he might get rewarded. There it is, purposeful. That was intentional. MSL gets it done, and the first kill found for North now. The thing is, you see that boost if you're Furia, and you go, lol, okay, they're all T-spawned. And now everyone is pushing. Everyone's pushing the extremities of this A-bomb site. And Yuri, well, he's quickly negated that AWP pick by bringing us back into a 4-on-4, taking advantage after advantage, and no one's putting a stop to him. How's he still going? How's he still going? Finally, there it is. Thank you, AZ. Bomb dropped, and a 1v3 to find this round. Whew, it's been around.
It's multi-kill madness right now, Harry. Everyone's putting up 3 kills, and North just aren't even able to get these trade frags that, typically would just be so easy, but Furia's aim is so crisp right now. AC's got it all to do and nothing to do it with, not even his life. Art's found him from the connector, and that's a 13-1 for Furia. A bomb plant would have been great for North. They're still, of course, going to be able to buy, but, MSL's on a UMP for the last round of the half. There are a little bit of, slight economical problems here for North, but I don't think the economical problems are the problems they're thinking about, Harry. It's more about the rounds, and boy, they are lacking. No AWP. And still only 1 for Fury. They actually dropped one of them for a Krieg, and at this point I don't blame them. Those guns are deadly as anything. And North finally going to go for this B-rush. Will it be the solution they needed all half long?
Yeah, I mean, let's see. It's kind of bittersweet if this was the answer to it all. First kill comes in, and now a bit of a slowdown. Art still maneuvering around these smokes. Queserato alongside him, and they're dodging bullets. They're weaving their way through this offensive. Oh, that could have been good. That could have been unreal. Damage done. Queserato trying to jump his way back into position. Gade is on the other side, and Queserato dropping. Oh my goodness, what is going on? This is madness. This is unprecedented. It's only Cajun B left, and he's got to ace it for the round win. I don't even know what's happened in this round. I don't even know what's happening in this game. Cajun, what can you do? 1v2, bomb planted out in the, bomb dropped out in the open. And he's looking for this one man inside of the site. Just might get it, but no. The kill is found for Furia. 14-1 at the end of the first half. And what a half a counter strike it was. You don't want to go anywhere because this is a once in a lifetime thing. Join us after the break as we'll continue this insane affair. Well, this game might just be too fast, too furious, as, they're full of Vinny Diesel right now. And North, mate, they're running on fumes. They got one round, and it's not looking good. CT side underway, and can the Danes bounce back? Honestly, I don't think so, but maybe I'm wrong, and I would love to be wrong. I'd love for this to heat on up. Let's see if it does. Furia, they've grouped everyone up down towards Connector apart from Art. They send him into middle. Kirby, look at that. That number's 0 on the minimap, just charging forward. He's all the way in T-spawn. He's got all this information. He's given the decision over to North, and now they've stacked the majority of their players inside of A. This man in the backline, this Kirby flank, this backstab from the Dane, that's the thing that makes or breaks this round for North.
Yeah, it's allowed North to have a triple setup on the site, but Furia have already found an immediate headshot. Kirby, is he ready rather? He sees the barrel of the gun, it sways his aim off of position. He can't find the kill. Queserato taking him down. How is this falling apart for North? Cajun saving the day with 2, and that leaves Queserato with 3 points of health in a clutch. Not easy, but 14-1, not undoable to say the least.
Oh,
That's
no.
the start that he wanted.
Oh, no. Oh, dear. Cajun B. Okay, right, let's just take stock of this. He's got 90 points of health. It's looking good. Queserato on the other side. Okay, yeah, he's got 2 in the round thus far, but he's got 3 HP. He's got 3 points of health, and there's the kill. Cajun's going to grab it, leaves nothing to chance. Round is locked in. 4 kills for Cajun, and a second round for North as the pistol goes their way.
I like the play from Kirby as well. You've just been 14-1. Screw it. Rush T-spawn in the pistol round, because what's the worst that can happen? You lose. At that point, that's happening regardless. So you may as well throw caution to the wind and just go crazy. He does exactly that. Even though he doesn't get a kill off of it, he just gets the information, and that's what North needed to win the round. Furia forcing, obviously, they are winning, and Kirby fighting middle. This is what Furia did a lot on the CT side, so they should be ready for a taste of their own medicine, but missed shots. MSL and Kirby have to do something here, but that second man has already gone down, and MSL's hiding in the smoke. They hear the reload. Cajun coming in for support, but it's too little and too late. He's been dinked down low, and now no one on the A site. That rotation has to come through from AZ. Gade is on the big boy flank, but Furia are coming back to fight this position. If he doesn't stop running, he's on the chopping block, but he chops Henny back. back and falls towards that B bomb site.
Oh, Gade, I mean, this is ballsy. Do they check it? Do they check it? Because this is not something you would imagine he does.
Oh.
He almost gets rewarded for it. Gets the kill, brings Art down low, drops the bomb, gets the information. All right, guys, bomb is in T-spawn. The guy's low on HP. And now for North, this might look great, right? You're 2-on-2. Both these players die in one bullet on the other side of things. However, it's a bit of an awkward spot just because there was a minute left on the clock when they get this 2-on-2. So for the last 15 seconds, you've seen and heard nothing. You do not know where these players are, where that bomb is ending up. They're ghosts. They've gone missing. And so you've got to split this defense 1-to-1 between either bomb site. And that could be a way of Furia to get back into this round.
Vinny's trying to bait. He's trying to fake out the fact that it's the B site opening the door, but no one's falling for it here. If you're North, you're waiting for that package and the package only, and this kill from AZ could win them the round. He's got the info. Jumping and spotting, taking the fight. Art's been killed, and that's the round. 14 seconds. Physically, no time for Vinny to do it with AZ still here, unless the 1D's landed instantly, and it's not. Clean, well, not really clean, but clean from AZ at least. You know, he deals with both those players on the A site, and North take a round with 2 alive, but that definitely got a bit close for comfort. That mid push not working wonderfully for North. And Furia, they might just force back in. They did so much damage in that previous round. They are going to put some investments into this one as well. Krieg, UMP, Galils, it's decent. And at 14-3, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah, one of the things that we've seen Furia doing a lot of is just kind of playing this like very heads up, very 5-man or 4-man usually style of Counter-Strike, right? Where you just keep all 4 players grouped up and they just take an area and then they work with it once they've got it. And this round's kind of no exception, but something that's nice that North have been doing is with this constant pressure through B, it's slowly but surely conditioning Furia to have to just keep a couple of players towards this side of the map and stop that information getting gained. So we're not seeing that same aggressive Furia. They have to slow it down a bit, and North have made them work for it. But this round, where the Kriegs have come back out, where they've invested a bit of money, they get 2 kills over at long. And this, for North, this could be their undoing. 3 versus 5. As this A play, I mean, it doesn't even have to come through for Fury. Oh, goodness, it's gotten even more favorable for the Brazilians. God, how could this get any worse? Cajun's trying to do all he can, but it's not enough. And it's only AZ, 1v4. This could be as good as done.
Yeah, K-Serato's been holding the flank the entire round. He's not allowing AZ to come out through that connector, even smoking it off, and he's just waiting for that contact. So AZ, yeah, save. It's respectable, it's commendable, it's all he can do. 15 rounds guaranteed for Furia at this point, and AZ, he at least wants a weapon to work with in that follow-up round. That round could very well be their last, at least of this map and this series. It would, of course, put North in that decider matchup in their group. Furia, however, will be going straight to the semi-finals, and that's definitely going to be a nice feeling considering this is day 1 of Anaheim. Just get it out the way, skip that day 2, you get a day off to practice and watch the matches, maybe enjoy the sun. I certainly am.
Yeah, I mean, me being, having the ginger gene, I'm not. But, lucky enough for me, I'm in this wonderful air-conditioned convention center watching video games. So,
what else would you want to be doing,
exactly.
Harry?
I'm hiding from that all day long.
We got breakfast earlier, and we had to ask the waitress if we could move because the sun was coming in from the window and burning our pale skin.
Oh, dear. Oh, that's how you know it's gotten bad. That's how you know it's gotten real bad.
Can't deal with California, man. Too nice. Too nice for me.
We were working on the Gamer Tans, 2020, the year. Early on in this one, Furia get out into the middle. 3 players in this side of the map. K-Serato. As we were saying, they have conditioned the guy to go and watch B. He's put there. Yuri's down in the connector. But long control taken, and in a very big way by Furia. They might just run the gauntlet into this A bomb site. It really wouldn't surprise me. That's a very Furia play. That's kind of the idea behind getting this much map control this quickly. You're imagining, well, if there was no one long to begin with, then, they might just be pushed up toilets. They could be playing connector. The money isn't great. And so the odds are North have taken a gamble like that. Furia are going to get rewarded very handsomely with this long push.
Oh, this is so unfortunate for North, man. And this is going to be even more unfortunate for the rotation. AZ coming back up with the 1 rifle they have, and no longer Art's taking him down, and the A site has been conceded by North. Now, there's still players waiting about in the wings, in the toilets, in the connector, but Art knows. He knows he got the A site for free, so so there has to be someone on this top side of the map. But meanwhile, North are falling like flies. Kierby trying to put himself in pole position, does get a couple of D kills, but he's all that stands between Furia and a victory and a semi-final here at DreamHack Anaheim. It doesn't seem doable. That bomb's been planted. All to play for, nothing to play with, and he's going to whip himself to a loss. 16-3, Furia are going to close out this map and series with ease.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say other than Furia go into that looking incredible. I think that they do a great job of not letting North get comfortable for like the first 6-7 rounds. And past that, yeah, Furia were kind of already just mentally there. They're in the driver's seat. They're putting up rounds. And sadly for North, it was one of these times where it is just like a bit of a slow start, right? You don't show up the way you want to early. And I think versus a team like Furia, you really can't do that. So, it's a bit of a shame, but I'm hoping that for North tomorrow, right, it's a new day. They can come into it being a bit more well-rested. For the Furia guys, very promising, right? Because that is a dominant win. Like, and this is one that should have been, you know, like a 25, 30 round game of CS, you would imagine. They managed to do it in like under 20.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, Furia looking confident, and the Brazilian boys are back in business. We'll see if they can keep it up, of course, on the third day as they head to the semi-finals. North, well, they've got a lot of thinking to do, and we've got a break to have, so we're going to throw that over and then be back with the desk in just a minute.
And keep it rolling, relentless, more intense than a tempest. We get relentless, and it don't stop like a life sentence. We stay relentless, relentless, more intense than a tempest. We get relentless, and it don't stop like a life sentence. We stay relentless, relentless. Relentless. Come on.
I never saw the lovely sky so blue. I never felt the joys of spring. I never realized how happy I could be, but now I do. But now I do. I never heard the bells of Notre Dame.
Well, that's certainly one way to punch your ticket into the playoffs. Furia decimates North in a game that we thought would be a little bit closer, and you guys said would be North, even though the graphic lied. I said Furia. Just putting that out
Nope,
there
the
now.
graphic definitely
The graphic was wrong.
Nope.
I said Furia.
Nope, graphic was right. Let's replay black with no sound.
We need the audio. We need the audio. Once we get the audio, we'll know.
We lost the audio,
And
sorry.
yet again, I was correct. Now, to be fair, I honestly only picked them because I was trying to just, give us some dynamic. I thought it would be a close game.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
I don't think any of us did.
I don't know what I just witnessed. That was absolute murdering. Like,
It was a massacre.
no, North stood no chance throughout that entire game. It seemed like Furia played their style of CS, and they were never forced off of it at any point. They started this game so aggressively. It felt like every time North set up, even from the opening pistol round where they wanted to fake long A and then, sneak out Monster. By the time the 3 guys were able to go out Monster, both A guys were dead from a flank. Like, they just couldn't get anything going.
They couldn't, and I think aggression is certainly the key word here. I gotta say, this is the Furia 2.0 that I've been waiting on for, it feels like since forever ago. And that aggression, the difference between this type of aggression coming out of Furia this time around is the kind of finesse behind it. We saw the double Molotovs consistently going towards that playground, but Furia hardly ever followed that up. They postured, acted like they were taking over that fountain, but then they had like a 3-man setup towards long A. Sometimes they overstacked towards that B, but the entire time North were just kind of turtled up behind the playground, not able to take any map control. So I think Furia's approach starting out from the gate on this overpass was just impressive.
Yeah, they pre-naded on pistol round. Like, normally people don't
Who buys HU grenades on pistol?
They pre-naded the ramp, the T stairs.
So
now,
good.
Sean, I'm told you have a highlight that you wanted to go over.
Yeah, it's something that I just briefly wanted to talk about is when they 5-man boosted MSL, right? So everyone has seen this boost a million times now where the T's use 5 players to get this pick. Now, most CT teams don't react appropriately, but you can see Yuri and even Henny, actually, who isn't going to be shown, they immediately push up on A. And the reason why they do that is because they know 5 people are required for this boost. But I was so impressed by how reactive they were that round. You rarely even see that in Tier 1 teams. Like, I always wonder why, the ground isn't taken back when you see that 5-man boost. They played that perfectly.
I think in general, we saw North get their foot in the door, and then Furia would just stomp it out.
Yeah.
Like every round that you're like, oh, this should be that. Even the round that, to me, is like the epitome of that game, that attempted boost that took like an eternity to actually come together. They do get the opening pick. And then Furia's aggression gets them 2 kills.
I thought you were going to say when Hugo did the infamous Cajun brain.
That fell flat too. And then there was even a round in A site, we thought MSL had that good trade, but then K-Serrado gets a 2-tap with an A4, didn't even see MSL, just threw the truck almost. It was just, every member on Furia were on point.
Yeah. Well, we do have an interview here with one of the members of Furia, so I'm gonna just march on.
Want you here anyway.
I'm going to take my time next time.
Okay.
Keep them out of the equation. Congratulations on the big win.
Thank you.
Wasn't really much of a fight for you guys. What happened?
I think we just had a lot of control of the map the whole match, and we were like, really comfortable playing against them.
So, speaking of the map, Vinny, Overpass. While you guys have played it in the past, how much have you prepped for the map more recently?
I think we were prepared for all the maps, like really good. So I think we're just feeling comfortable in everyone, and just like trying to play our game.
Sean, Potter, you guys have some questions as well. Why don't you go ahead and fire away?
I do. Vinny, it's been way too long since we were able to have a player's interview with you up here. What are you going to do differently in 2020 versus 2019 to make sure you're up here more often and we get to talk to you?
I think we just need to prepare the way we did it like in this boot camp. We're just like gonna be focused, do it like or like 100, even more than 100%, and I think we're just getting there.
Sean, you have a question as well?
Yeah, I do. So the reason why I like watching Furia so much is because their aggressive playstyle, but I haven't really seen them much on Overpass. So have you guys worked on expanding your map pool? Because this looked really, really solid, if I'm being honest. So I want to see more of you guys play Overpass after this.
I think our Overpass was really good before, but we had some struggle against Tier 1 teams, and I think we did a really good job structuring the way we're going to play City Star right now.
I think I only have one more question for you, and then we'll let you go. What are you going to do with the day off?
I think we're just going to watch the games and prepare for the next match.
No Disneyland?
No, not Disneyland for us.
Oh, come on. Well, we are going to throw things to a break. Congratulations on the victory. We've got one more match on the day, and it's a barn burner. It's Complexity versus Genji to see who's going to be moving into the playoffs to match up against the likes of Furia and the others that will be decided tomorrow. Stay tuned.